I was so dumb, but I hopped on a plane, almost drove right back to the 541. Shitty U-turn on the freeway, you turn me from a fiend to a way to you fun. I can wait in the sun for a little, but it's been real gray, and tonight it's a nice C1. I can wait in the cold for a while.
Everybody, I'm Alex at TSB Pod. He is Ski at TSB Ski. If you're still on Twitter, we also have a Threads now. It is the Sports Brewery podcast on Threads. TSB Pod was taken on Instagram, which you have to have an Instagram account to have a Threads account. So I had to create an Instagram account for the podcast too. So the Sports Brewery podcast on Instagram and Threads. There you go.
There you go.
Somehow got through that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but those are things now. So find them on there and it's not Twitter anymore. It's X now. We're supposed to call it X. The guy goes out and changes the name of his multi-billion-dollar company to something that's already trademarked by two other companies with a logo that's like public domain, so anybody can change it to whatever the hell they want. like come on, my guy.
I mean, all the Musk like honks out there, I think they're going to be only ones that actually call it X. I'm never going to call it X.
Why would you? Yeah,
it's always going to be Twitter.
It's been Twitter forever.
Well, and you know, a business, one of the biggest things in a business is establishing that name brand. They had it, and all of a sudden you try to get rid of it. It just doesn't make sense.
You had one of the biggest in the world, the biggest brands in the world. Like you could just, yeah, it's amazing. You could just count money like the rest of your days. Like, do you know how long it's going to take to brand X to the point where it's going to like be marketable for you? It can't be, because when you hear X as a brand, what do you think of? Xbox. I think Xbox. Xbox.
I think DX. I think DX.
Degeneration X.
Yes, a Degeneration X. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Throwback to Keenan Howery throwing up the X. Dante Hall throwing up the X. Yeah.
But and then there's a problem with like what is a thread? Like on Twitter, you tweet. What do you do on Threads?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
The shorthand is what builds a brand.
It is. Yeah.
In fact, that like a tweet in itself right there is worth more than all of Threads put together right now.
Threads needs to get rid of the Instagram requirement. Like that needs to happen very soon. Otherwise, they're not going to go very far.
I did look into possibly creating an account. It would have let me create an account from Discord as well.
Oh, really? Oh, so
yes.
You don't have to have Instagram. You can have Discord?
You can have Discord as well. Yeah, it's what I assume. I assume they own Discord as well, would be my guess.
Yeah, I would assume so too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I do like how, because I like Instagram. Instagram's like the only social media thing I use. I do like that they tie in together. It makes things really easy for me. And switching between, because now I have the two profiles that I'm running, like switching between the two of them is really easy on there too. So, I don't know.
But here's where,
so far so okay.
Yeah, well, here's where Threads. I'm not sure if you were just busy at work all day today, but
I was, yes.
I mean, you would, all right. So I was because you missed all the Dan Lanning contract stuff, and I was wondering more if, all right, didn't check it on Twitter if Threads even picked up on that even.
And here's another thing Threads needs. It needs a search function. You can search for people, but you can't search for topics or stories or anything like that. That needs to change right away, because that's what people use Twitter for, is finding out news information. So if you go on Twitter, enter Lanning into search, you're going to find a whole bunch of people who posted about Dan Lanning's new contract. If you go to Threads, you can't do that. You like, it'll just find Dan Lanning's profile or like a billion other people named Lanning's profile, and that's it. So if that's what it wants to become, which it should, if it's trying to replace Twitter, then get on that right now.
I mean,
like right
it doesn't even replace it; just compete with it.
Yeah.
They'll get.
I mean, there's a lot of people going to it because like if you follow people on Instagram it gives you the option to also follow them on Threads. And even if they're not on Threads, it lets you follow them. So when they create an account, it lets you know, and you automatically follow them, basically. And so I get notifications on my phone every day. You started following so-and-so who just signed up for a Threads account, basically. Yeah. So I guess that's one of the benefits of tying it into another social media account that you already have is, it just sort of automates things for you, I guess. I don't know. People are talking about the Blue Sky thing, too. I don't know what that one is, but...
I don't know. Yeah. That one seemed more like an actual...
Yeah.
Old Twitter clone kind of thing.
Clone. Yeah.
I mean, you also have the other option of just not being on social media.
That's true too, by the way.
I mean, that is an option.
Really, the reason I did it is just because if Twitter's like going away, then I need to be able to post these podcasts on something, and so I might as well do it on Instagram, and people seem to like Instagram more than anything else anyway, so. IG and Threads, whatever, makes it easy.
Because we're not cool enough to be on the TikTok.
Oh, that's a fact. Yeah.
Oh, King's on the TikTok. He's the TikTok guy.
Yeah, and he has kids who are on it too. They help him, I think. Oh, by the way, listener, King not here. He had like a thing happen in his family, so he's not able to do the pod this week. So, you'll notice he's not talking. That's why. But yeah, TikTok seems like work, man. Like TikTok seems like a time investment that I'm just not willing to give for a social media. Like you have to the learning curve for it. Like if you want to actually be decent at it, which is I guess the thing, right? If you're gonna have a TikTok, you want it to be good, right? So I don't know.
You're talking about creating?
It feels like that's like. You have a TikTok to either watch all of those videos, which I don't really care about, or you got to create them. And that's like a job. Like, I have a job, man.
So we've hit the age now where, it's kind of, we start falling into being like a curmudgeon and these damn fucking whippersnappers. I've seen the things of TikTok boy, where they just are like randomly spewing words of things, and I just don't get it.
Is it like is it mumble rap?
No, they're like mumble rap. At least understand it's just terrible. This I don't
yes,
even understand. I mean, they're monetizing this somehow, which hey, good for anyone to make a buck at doing anything. But it's from what I could glean from it is. You get paid in whatever TikTok currency there is, and someone pays, and it's just like a word. So they just say 5 whatever chirp. They go chirp chirp chirp, and all they're doing is saying all these words that are equating to money, I guess. And I was trying to figure out what the attraction is to watching that. Yeah. It's
way over my head.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel very old.
Well, and there's because I'm not sure that it's an old thing. Because I would want to go up to like an early 20s kid and ask do you understand this? Does this actually make sense to you? If it does, explain it to me. I'm fine being old, but explain it to me because there's no logic. There's no logic to any of it, man.
I mean, I guess your kid's not quite old enough to.
No.
Definitely. Almost getting there, but
my kid is not old enough to have an actual cell phone yet. Has a cell phone, but not connected to actual cell service. That's gonna be happening soon. Middle school's coming up next year, so that's a discussion I'm gonna have real soon. So we'll see. We'll see which parent's gonna foot the bill for that one. That's the big talk.
But we'll because King's not here, he might actually know what it is because his kid's a little older. But
yeah.
If not, we'll check back in with you here in a year and change.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll know by then.
Assuming TikTok is still a thing a year from now, we'll see.
Well, unless they ban it because of China.
China. Yeah, it depends on who the next president is, right?
Well, That's very true.
Yep. Okay, so we have gone like over 10 minutes into the podcast, and I haven't mentioned the movie for this week. By the way, do you still have the Dortmund?
I just looked up and it's already 1-0.
Yeah. Okay. We got San Diego
Loyal.
the San Diego Loyal facing Borussia Dortmund, and Dortmund scored like within a minute. And then I just saw a highlight of 3 guys running down with the ball uncontested and just the goalie, and they scored again, but it was offsides. So I was like that would have been the funniest goal I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why these two teams are playing. It doesn't make sense. But
like I said before we even started, I thought this was a fake team.
Yeah, no, San Diego Loyal is not in the MLS. Like, why are they playing Dortmund? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, anyway, movie this week. It was there's no theme this week, where that's going to be starting next week. So we asked you guys for a suggestion for a movie, and we got one from Twitter, from the lady Scarola, and we're going to be, we're going to be watching for Sunday The Greatest Showman, which is the musical with Hugh Jackman, and it is on Disney Plus. We wanted to switch it up a little bit, and we figured a musical with Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron, Zendaya was the way to do it. Michelle Williams too, right?
Michelle Williams,
yeah, good stuff, man. And not the Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child, like the actress one. Yeah. So watch that. Listen to us talk about it on Sunday. Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something, or should we just get into whatever sports there were?
Well, I think that's it.
Okay. Excuse the appearance, by the way. I got like sweaty, gross Lanning Kugel shirt on. I was doing housework. I was painting and sanding stuff with my girlfriend. Yes, I have a girlfriend. Basically, I wore this dirty shirt as an excuse to say that I have a girlfriend again. So sorry.
I think it was like a fake shirt.
Sorry,
I'm sure she did all the work while you just sat there and the air conditioning and like, oh, looking good.
Hey, doing great, babe.
Yeah, nice job.
Can I get you something? No? Okay, cool. I'll just be over here. Yep.
Yeah, we got slam balls coming on, so yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I'd love to help, but slam ball. You know how it is. Yeah. It's
like week 1 of slam ball. It's fucking must-see TV.
Yeah, what, I'm supposed to miss week 1 of slam ball? Come on. Be realistic. All right, so before we do, because we had Dan Lanning's extension happen, Colorado's leaving the Pac-12, Aaron Rodgers got extended. Let's see, Bronny James had a heart attack. That's terrifying. I just wanted real quick. I want to touch on the quarterback series that's on Netflix, because we've talked about it a few times, and I finally watched the episode where they went into Mariota, where he got benched for Desmond Ridder, and then he disappeared from the team and just basically quit on them. Was the narrative. And in the show, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in the show, they show that he tore his meniscus, and he had to have surgery on his torn meniscus. Why nobody mentioned that at any point before this Netflix show came out is beyond me. Am I crazy? Did they mention that he tore his meniscus?
I never remember hearing an actual. I did hear something that maybe he got hurt, but I never knew exactly what it was.
Even Arthur Smith in the press conference was like, yeah, he's having some cleanup surgery or whatever. He had a lingering injury that he was getting cleaned up. No, dude, he tore the meniscus on his knee. That's a major surgery. What are you talking about?
I was going to say, I thought this might be a ploy by Mariota's agent so we could get signed by someone, but
Unless he's lying about it, because it was a documentary. They were filming him as the stuff was happening. So
but he got signed before this came out. So, but teams will get the medical report on the player. So it's not like you could slip one by a team oh yeah, I just tore my meniscus, but you don't need to know that.
It's so weird. What was the point? Why make him look shitty like that? I mean, I understand he's not going to be your starting quarterback anymore, but just somebody come out and just say the surgery he had. At any point, just like squash the narrative like right away, because there's no point in it. If you can fix
I think that
it.
would have taken some heat off of Ritter. I mean, Ritter's not very good.
No.
But it would have taken some heat off of like, oh, all right, he's getting thrust into playing now, as opposed to, oh, they want him to play.
They're
so
going to him.
Have more,
The future.
Yeah, you have more expectations there. Because they were not. I mean, they weren't that. They won some games with Mariota, but they were very not good.
You know who they beat with Mariota? They beat the 49ers.
They did.
that was like the low of the season for San Francisco last year. I remember feeling really bad about my football team after that game.
Well, I mean, tough to stop. I mean, they were a decent running team.
Yeah, yeah.
When they were healthier.
When Patterson was healthy, yeah.
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 And then Algiers was a good rookie, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And Pitts was.
So something about your team can't stop the fucking run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, you didn't have Purdy wasn't playing in that game, was he?
No, Purdy wasn't playing yet.
So there you go. So it doesn't count, right? Because Purdy wasn't playing, it doesn't count.
Pretty much. By the way, Brock Purdy returned to practice today, I think it was. Fully cleared, which was not supposed to happen. Because when he had the surgery, they're like, yeah, he's gonna return at some point during the summer, which is like now, and then he's gonna practice on the side. They're just gonna have him throw a couple times a week, and they're gonna like ease him into it. But he practiced like fully today. Was throwing yeah.
Did he have TJ?
No, they were able to avoid it. They did something where like they put a thing in his arm or something to it was some really weird, complicated thing.
But it wasn't Tommy John.
No, it was not. Otherwise, he wouldn't be back yet. Yeah.
Well,
I think somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong on that, but I remember it being something different. But yeah.
No, because TJ is about a
year. Yeah.
It's a little less because Trevor Story for the Sox, he had TJ, kind of at the end of the season, the off season, and he's already, back rehab playing now with throwing. Yeah. So I mean that's not a full year by any means, but
he did avoid Tommy John. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought I remembered. I remembered it being something else. I just can't remember the specifics of it.
Well, maybe you should have had TJ because when you come back from TJ, you throw the ball harder and farther.
Yeah, no, you're Henry Rowan Gardner.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Purdy actually might have been a respectable arm out there now.
Rossengrusen. Yeah, man. Yeah, being fully cleared though, that's nice because I had heard enough about how Trey Lance was looking good in practices. It's like I don't need to hear
that's
that
not
shit.
The thing you want to hear.
I don't need to hear that shit at all. Yeah. WCP said it in the chat. Purdy has a 73 overall rating in Madden this year, which is 2 ahead of Darnold and Lance, which is crazy.
Well,
crazy.
I'm not a big Purdy guy, but I'll agree that he's better than those two by a ranking of 2.
He's got to be like, and I understand he's not a 90 or anything, but you got to make him closer to like an 80. How about like a 77? Like even that. I mean. Because he was really good last year. So, I don't know. And yes, I fully acknowledge he has Kittle, Debo, and Christian McCaffrey. Like, I get it. And Trent Williams is his left tackle. That helps. But he was good. Nobody else was doing that. Trey Lance wasn't doing that before he got hurt. So, I don't know. Jimmy G was okay. He wasn't doing what Purdy ended up doing. So, he's better than Jimmy G. What's Jimmy G rated? That's what I want to know.
Ooh. So 99 in looks at least.
Yeah, no doubt.
I feel like at least I mean, you're saying that the Trey Lance stuff, but at least you're not the Dolphins and the Bengals today. I haven't heard the official news out of Cincinnati, but that ain't good.
Oh, by the way, 77 for Jimmy G on Madden. See, that's what I'm saying. He's better than Jimmy G.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. Yeah, dude, the Joe Burrow injury really looked bad. Like they're saying it's a strained calf, which, it could be a partially torn Achilles and still be a strained calf. But it sure did look like an Achilles injury, man. Like,
yeah, that was because he was barely moving. He was kind of just yogging out of the pocket.
Yogging. And he did the thing too where you plant behind you and you overextend and then it just like pops. Like we've seen Achilles injuries before. Like Kobe did it, just
See, well, that's the thing. Achilles injury. I mean,
yeah.
it's you hear it.
You know
if
right
you're
away.
on the field. Yeah. So the fact that any reporter, anyone that was there would have said that. That's why I don't think it
Okay.
was the Achilles.
Well, again, it could be a partial. So,
yeah. Was he going to pull the Kevin Durant and like partially tear it and you come back and then you really blow it out?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what Durant did.
You got to do all that PT, man. Can't cut any corners. My buddy Ben just ruptured his Achilles a few days ago. So I was telling him that Joe Burrow was trying to take his thunder.
Tell me he was doing something like he shouldn't be, playing basketball in your 40s.
He absolutely was playing soccer.
That just when you hit about 40, it's a real risk now.
You want to hear something better? It's a co-ed league, and last year his wife tore her ACL. Maybe they should stop playing in that league, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, it's to the point now where it's like, shit, all I do is golf.
You don't play baseball anymore?
No, I finally gave it up.
Wow, cutting out the
because I was gonna go down at some point.
Yeah,
it was inevitable. I was gonna go down.
Did you have like a retirement ceremony?
Should have.
My guy, you've been playing baseball for like 30 years, hanging them up.
Yeah. My shoulder thanks me, and my hamstrings.
Yeah.
They're not very upset about it.
Yeah.
No, but then what was the other one? Ramsey tore his ACL.
What was it? His ACL? Because I saw he was
he's having surgery.
He's 6 to 8 weeks apparently. So
yep.
I think he's too old for a 6 to 8 week recovery from an ACL. I don't believe that for a second.
And coming back as he was, he can come back and play, but you're going to lose a step, and that's
he already lost a step.
Yeah,
as King loves to remind everybody. Let's see what else because there was more NFL stuff too. Like Rodgers got extended. Did you see like what he wanted his deal to be?
I didn't.
Because he was trying like the original deal he asked for was he wanted to get like part ownership of the Jets. So he wanted to get like ownership points. And like apparently like right before he signed his actual extension, the league owners voted to make it so that's not allowed for anybody, like any player. But man, that's a cool idea. Like if you're looking at like a Bobby Bonilla type of situation where you want to just keep making money off the franchise forever. And by the way, like all of these franchises get sold at some point. Like the Jets ownership, somebody's going to die at some point. That franchise is going to get sold, and you're going to get like a percentage of that when the team gets sold. And so you get this put into your contract now. Team gets sold 10 years down the road. You're in your 50s or 60s. You suddenly make like part of what 10, 15 years down the road would be like $15 billion, $20 billion.
Yeah.
So
I guess the hard part with that is how do you equate that to salary cap?
Good job, good effort. That's the thing. That's why they voted to make it so they couldn't do it. Is because it would be a conflict with the CBA. Like you can't be an owner and then negotiate with the CBA and do all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think you should be allowed to do that where it's like retroactive from your retirement.
Yeah.
Like you have no say, nothing. It's like what the president's supposed to do. You put all your stuff in like a sealed account that you can't do anything with until you're out of office, kind of thing.
A lockbox.
But a digital lockbox.
A digital lockbox.
Yeah.
See what we have.
A blind trust.
What we have, Ski, is a digital lockbox. I got a little Al Gore still. When was the last time anybody thought of Al Gore?
I was gonna say that's how dated it is.
Jesus. Let's see. He's gonna be due 2 years, $75 million or something like that. He was asking for less though.
But because he wanted that piece.
Because he wanted the piece. Yeah.
Valuable in the end. But,
good try, man. Good job. Good effort.
But because if you could do that, I mean, the Chargers would have worked around to give Herbert, pay him almost damn near nothing. But when you have a stake in the team, all of a sudden, your salary cap's looking pretty fucking good with having Herbert locked up for 5 years.
Yeah, that too. So Herbert did get signed. Do you have the details of his contract handy? Because I can't remember. It was like 275 or something total.
There was a lot guaranteed.
There was. Let me see. 262,500,000. Wow, 218 million guaranteed. Jesus.
I feel like it might even go up a little more. Like the guarantees are pretty, easy to hit too.
God damn. That's a lot of money, Gina. Get it, Herbert. Man, he has come a long way from that 3-star kid I used to call high school games for. I called this fool when I was working at the radio. I called this fool so many times in high school, and he did not look like a college player. He didn't look like an NFL player, and suddenly he gets to Oregon and he's like the hottest shit on earth, man.
Yeah, highest paid player in the NFL.
Highest paid player in the NFL. Crazy.
Smart. Smart by the Chargers though, because if Burrow's deal got done first, they would have had to go more than that.
Yeah.
And now with Burrow, I don't know the extent of his injury. Hey, that contract might be well below Herbert.
Get ahead of it, man. That's why the Chiefs giving that 10-year deal to Mahomes a few years ago was genius.
Yeah.
Like all these dudes are about to and are getting paid right now. Get ahead of it. Lock him down, man.
Yeah, set the bar. Don't be the one that has to go over the bar.
Set the bar because the bar is going to change in a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's like next year. It's easy.
Well, unless you're a running back, then
then you're not going to get signed by anybody.
There's no bar anymore for running back.
It's so bizarre. There's so many good running backs who are free agents right now. You just cannot find homes. And like the deal Saquon Barkley signed, Jesus, man. And like Saquon literally came out and was like, yeah, like why would I let them fuck me? Like he literally said those words, right? Like, and then he comes out and signs this horrible 1-year franchise tag deal that they offered him. Like, man,
that was the best. That was the best he's gonna get. And I partially side with ownership in this and running back.
I get it.
You could, yeah.
You're talking to a 49er fan. I get it. But now the 49ers have Christian McCaffrey. And so I can no longer have this conversation.
Well, you'll wait because got only a couple of years left on a deal?
Yeah, he actually has 2. Yeah.
2? Yeah. Let's see what happens when these 2 years are up though. Because there's no way I don't see the Niners don't say give big contracts to them. They'll bring a guy in a trade like this. Otherwise, look at their carousel they've had. Just bring in a young kid, replace some guy that gets hurt.
Yeah.
He does good. He goes. Bring another one.
Like Shanahan, I think it was Shanahan said the joke this year where they finally, after like 3 or 4 years in a row of doing it, didn't draft a running back in the 2nd or 3rd round. And he was like, hey, we finally didn't draft a running back this year. You guys happy? Like he said that at the press conference. And everybody's like, yeah. Uh-huh.
They'll draft one next year.
Christian McCaffrey, sure. Yeah. Yeah, but WCP has a point. Like, they don't have to pay a quarterback for a while. Like, because...
Well, if you think Purdy is it.
Yeah, Purdy or Lance. They don't have to get rid of Lance. And if like, nobody's going to sign him to, like, this huge deal, so they can just sign him and keep him as a backup as long as they want to. Like, why not? Like that's where teams spend all of their money, as we're seeing, is quarterback. And the Niners not having to do that means they can throw it at anything they want. Like, because they got to pay Bosa. Bosa's literally holding out right now, so they're gonna have to make him the highest paid defensive player in the NFL here real soon. So
he's gonna tear his pec signing that contract.
I know. I was reading today because his agent was also his brother's agent. And remember, like, Joey Bosa got the highest paid NFL contract a few years ago, and then completely disappeared. Yeah. But their agent plays no games, and like Bosa is going to be the highest paid player in the NFL. So, all right, who's not a quarterback? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but back to the running backs is also it's like, yeah, I don't see it changing anytime soon either. No. I don't see teams going back to, the very run heavy, older style of smash football. That's just not the way the game's trending. Same reason why in the NBA, you can't be a big, slow guy anymore. You have to be able to shoot and defend out on the perimeter. Just times are changing.
It's so weird because somebody's going to sign Dalvin Cook this year, and he's going to help them win a whole bunch of games because he's still really good. Like, Dalvin Cook is a really good running back. Like, can catch the ball out of the backfield, still runs between the tackles. Like, he's really good. I mean,
if King was here, I'd be pushing that the Chiefs should pick him up.
Easy. Yeah. He's like McKinnon, but actually good.
Hey, McKinnon had like 8 touchdowns in the final 5 games for the Chiefs.
I was gonna say, could you smell the salt coming from me on that one?
Yeah.
Fuck McKinnon. Yeah. All right. Anything else NFL before we move on?
Nah, that was already plenty of NFL.
That was plenty. So Dan Lanning did sign an extension. It is going to keep him through 28, which is nice. Assuming he sticks around.
I think it could go longer in there too. I think it has.
They have the option.
Escalator for a 10-win regular season. Adds in an extra. I think it add up to 2 or 3 more years too.
It's because that's a trend with Mullins and negotiating. Oregon football coach contracts is adding those escalators. If you win a Rose Bowl, you get an extra 2 years on your contract. Knowing full well they're not gonna be with Oregon. Like if they win those games that get those extra years, they're not gonna be at Oregon.
Well,
the duration of that contract.
If that buyout stays through it all,
yeah,
I think that's not gonna keep some of the SEC teams away. Because,
no,
pay the $20 million buyout, then you probably got to give them a massive contract anyway, and pay your outgoing coach. They'll dump $120 million doing that. For some of the bigger SEC teams will.
Yeah,
but at least I think it gets rid of a lot of those other teams that could potentially pull them away.
Kirby Smart going to the NFL and him getting hired by Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia would do it. Yeah, they'll pay that $20 million like it's nothing.
It's going to happen. By the way, that's going to happen.
I don't see Smart going to the NFL.
I do. I absolutely do.
You look at Saban and you'd be like, why the fuck would I do that? I am just primed to just sit on my laurels now for the next decade, get paid more than I would in the NFL, and not have to deal with all the terrible shit that the NFL has to deal with.
I guess, man. Football coaches are different, though. Like Saban's with Alabama because he failed in the NFL.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, if he didn't fail, he would have left Alabama to go to the NFL a long time ago, based on what he's done there. But he failed, and he had a horrible experience there. So why would he ever go back? But Kirby Smart has not done that.
No, but what college coach has really thrived making that jump? I mean, was Chip in Chip's the best one, and he didn't last that long.
I mean, Harbaugh went to a Super Bowl with the 49ers, but then he fizzled out, obviously. So, yeah. I mean, every NFL coach started out as a college assistant, at least. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, WCP. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Well, it's been a while.
It's a very good one.
It's been a while.
Been a while. Yeah, so here's confusion because I see this in the chat too. The $20 million buyout doesn't get smaller over the contract. I saw that it does. I saw it doesn't. I read a story that said it does. So I'm confused. There are more people saying it doesn't than saying it does. So I'll tend to side with you on that, and that's great. That's a good job by Mullins because Oregon funds its program based on coaching buyouts. So.
Well, Lanning's no dummy. Also, because like I said, he knows if that big SEC team wants him, they're going to pay it anyway. So he might as well. I'm sure they probably added some more money into that contract to him to have that stipulation in it. So genius by Lanning, if that's the case.
Speaking of the money, it's $7 million per, which according to Oregon makes him the second highest coach in the conference, which, by the way, the conference is getting a lot smaller year by year.
I think so. Was it 7th nationally?
Yeah.
I saw?
No, it's
9th, 7th, or 9th?
Yeah, it was like 15th. I saw 15th.
Oh, was that high?
Which is about right because Oregon's about 15th, and I mean, perfect. Yeah, makes sense. And saying he's second is you saying that he's behind, USC. And USC doesn't disclose their coaching salaries, and they don't have to because they're a private school. So, like, everybody who talks about Lincoln Riley's contract is kind of guessing because USC doesn't have to tell anybody, and they don't. So,
especially with this Big Ten money coming in, it could be something just stupid.
Yep,
we don't even know.
Yeah. So again, Colorado leaving the Pac-12 next year. This is the last year they're gonna. So next year the Pac-12 is gonna be the Pac-9. It's gonna be without the LA schools and Colorado. So they're gonna have to add somebody to replace one of those.
Well, I guess here's the real question: is does Oregon make? Because I think other teams are gonna make a move with this as well. Like
they have
before it hits the fan. Yeah, someone else. Like I think those Arizona schools can maybe jump with Colorado, and then I think Oregon needs to make the move because otherwise they're really at the hands of. Because realistically, what would they add? San Diego State. I've seen like Tulane. Those. I mean, if you're going for.
By the way, both of those schools better than Colorado.
Oh, Colorado is awful.
Colorado's truly terrible. Yep.
It's literally it's not going to ding the conference much. It's
a brand
because of the TV, the lack of a TV deal. Everyone else is going to see this and just start jumping ship as well.
George K was talking about how he didn't really care that Colorado was leaving. He literally said, "We got bigger fish to fry." It's like, wow. Dude, the whole thing is crumbling around you, my guy. He's the gif of the little dude sitting in the office that's on fire around him. You know, like everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, nothing to see here, guys. My dude, it's all falling apart in like a truly horrific way. Because you're not gonna get a TV deal, and he keeps saying that too. He's like, yeah, we're focusing on the TV deal. We got a couple of people who weren't there before, who are here now, who are making solid offers. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No. Or you would have signed something a long time ago. Like the idea that you're waiting and you're not in a rush to sign this contract is laughable. Like stop lying, my guy. Everybody knows you're lying.
I mean, if King was here, he usually knows this kind of thing. I wonder what kind of TV market Colorado had there.
Yeah. They do. They're marketable as shit right now, just because of Dion.
Well, right, just because of Dion, yeah. But you got to think that's not going to last more than a couple years.
Yeah.
But then the other question is the Pac-12, 10, 8, whatever iteration it is its life or death just hanging on what the Ducks do? Like, if they leave, I mean, the conference is just dead.
It's
right?
over. It's over, yeah.
If they stay, they could fill it in with all that second-tier trash from the WAC and shit and keep a conference, I think. So.
And I don't want to give him too much credit just because for obvious reasons, but if Washington leaves, it falls apart. If Utah leaves, it falls apart. Like you can't lose Oregon, you can't lose Washington, you lose Utah. If you lose one of them, it's done. Like the conference is done. You can't have these like humongous 16-team conferences with all of these super programs and just be sitting there with 8, like a Pac-8. Like you can't. Or 10 with a bunch of scrubs you got from the Mountain West. You can't do that. There's no point.
You look at Clemson, that's damn near what they do. But if that would happen and they get a bid, I mean, wouldn't it be beneficial for the Ducks to damn near get an automatic bid into the playoffs every year? I mean, it's not for us as watchers and fans. It's not entertaining.
I think
playing scrubs.
If you have, yeah, okay. So you're talking about if they have a Pac-10 and add scrubs.
Yeah, if they fill out the rest, let's say Utah or Washington leaves also, or
yeah.
I mean, they're not a threat as many more, but Stanford goes independent kind of thing.
Right.
And you add a bunch of those scrub teams, and it's the Ducks and the Beavs. And that's like,
do you think,
and maybe Washington or Utah, and that's it. That's the cream of the crop.
Do you think they'd let them keep the automatic bid?
See, that's the thing. If they do, then say fuck it. We're in the playoffs every year.
I hear you. That's tactical. I get it. I could see if the conference keeps deteriorating like it does, that they get tiered down. You know, I don't know. I've never seen that happen before, but
what conference would jump up though is the question. The Conference USA is not going to jump them, kind of shit. You know,
I don't know. They give another automatic bid to one of the super conferences because they have 16,
I guess
they have 16 teams now. Like they should have another one, right? They're gonna have these 2 lost teams that are still gonna be way better than any team in the Pac-8.
I don't know if you saw, I think it was yesterday, they had the image of Brutus Buckeye and the Ducks standing at the center of Autzen Field, an Instagram picture together. You know, I assume it's purely for they're saying they're going to have their match, their home and home again, 8 years from now, whatever the fuck date it is.
Right.
But the initial thought, a lot of, dumb fans, I'll say, probably thought it was like, oh, we're going to the Big Ten, baby, aren't we? Going to the Big Ten. So my question to you is, would you want the Ducks in the Big Ten or this, what we see happening, a shell of the former Pac-10?
Man, the Big Ten would suck.
It would be tough.
Yeah.
You get to watch a lot better football, though. Is that the trade-off? And you earn that actual bid instead of coasting into it against shit?
So because Pac-12 falls away, there's an automatic bid that just goes away. And it would go to one of those conferences, probably the Big Ten or the SEC.
SEC.
Yeah, I mean,
SEC damn near gets 2 bids anyway.
They kind of do. And with the playoff expanding anyways, you'd probably give it to the Big Ten, honestly. Because the Big Ten would be getting, the LA schools and Oregon, and probably Oregon's going to bring someone else with them, like Washington or Oregon State.
Not going to bring the Beavs. Let's just...
let's
be real here. Beavs ain't going.
It's weird because Oregon State might actually be good. So
I saw a lot of those preseason rankings, where they thought the Beavs are going to be not bad.
No,
but I've seen people say they think they're going to win the conference. Have people seen DJU play football? They're all going to say, "Oh, did you watch the Beaver quarterbacks last year? They were terrible, and they looked pretty good." DJU is not good.
Yeah,
he can't throw a football.
Well, he's got Jonathan Smith, the quarterback whisperer, coaching him now. Man, come on.
If he was a quarterback whisperer, he wouldn't have to bring in a guy that can't throw and is slow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know they have a good defense and a really good offensive line. So they could be good. They always run the ball, and yeah.
But look, because this is the conference. This is the year of the quarterback in the conference.
Yeah,
you can't have that 7th rated, ranked quarterback.
They have DJU, and he's like the 6th best in the conference.
Exactly, that's the point. I don't see it happening. There's too many good quarterbacks to not have an elite level.
Oh man, Oregon so they had the Pac-12 media day, and Oregon sent Nix, obviously, and Bassa, and I'm like, God, is that really the ambassador for Oregon's defense? Is the safety turn linebacker who was the 3rd best linebacker in on the worst defensive unit like in the conference. Like, God. Or is Oregon's defense really going to be terrible again next year? Like,
I don't think so.
They got some.
Because I don't.
They got some good pieces. Like, I get it, but man.
And it's shit. I mean, at least it's not this year. But God, he's been recruiting fucking linebackers like we don't have any.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, goddamn, it seems like every recruit I ever see pop up, like, oh, Duck's got this guy. Oh, it's a 4-star linebacker from Texas. I'm like, great, another linebacker, just what we need.
Linebacker or D-line, that's it. By the way, do that. That's how my NFL team got good. They built from the defensive line linebackers, and then worry about everything else. Stop the run, rush the passer. That's all you have to do.
I mean, King's not here, so we could talk a little more recruiting.
Yeah.
But just the fact that the Ducks were in the final two for that, I've never even seen a 5+ star linebacker that he ended up going to Georgia, obviously, as he should. Yeah. But the fact that he was even like entertaining going to the Ducks. Lanning is an elite recruiter for defense.
Yeah. He's in the living rooms for everybody. That's pretty much
and like I said, the fact that they signed him long term for until a team wants to pay the buyout, good for the future. Problem is that this is the last year of Nick's, and he's going to have to learn how to recruit offense. And I don't know.
Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Are we like before we get to August? We're doing the Ty Thompson talk. All right.
Well,
oh, dude,
no, we're not going there.
We beat Booble to it in the chat too. He's like, Ty Thompson next year, baby.
Yep.
Oh,
God, I'm not looking forward to next year.
Strap in, baby. Strap in. Oregon football. It is like nothing but arm punts.
It is weird how college, if you have that quarterback, you just don't have to worry about anything. It's the same the NFL. It's like next year I'm gonna have to be dealing with the Colts, and if Richardson could actually look like a quarterback at all, and then with the mess the Ducks are gonna have next year of there's gonna be 4 names they're gonna be popping up of who could be the quarterback next year.
Did you see Richardson's rating on Madden?
I did not.
It's 70.
Man, higher than Purdy.
No, it's not.
Or was he 72? Was he 72?
73, I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, 73. Oh.
Yeah. It's close to Purdy.
He should be higher.
Brock Purdy led the 49ers deep in the playoffs, and this fool's like 3 points behind him. That's what I'm saying, man.
That's got no Madden rating. I mean, Richardson's probably a 99 in speed and whatever other they might have, like athleticism as a category. I mean, he's elite athlete.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he can throw a football, but that'll bump your rating up having those 99s.
Yes, it will. All right. Anything else? We can get to our list now. We're coming up on an hour. What do you want?
I want to bring up Colorado. What the fuck were they think? Was this a pure money play?
Yeah.
Moving because they're not going to be that much more of a threat in that conference.
Well, no, they're going to go into the TV deal that they just signed too. So they're already getting a portion of that deal. I didn't see what the money was involved. It had to be the money. I saw the number they were getting the other day. I can't remember what it was, but they're already being implemented into all of that stuff. And the Pac-12 is gonna get a TV deal eventually, but it's gonna be terrible, and they're not gonna get as much money doing that. And you know what? They founded the Big 12, so why not go back to the Big 12? And the Big 12 is like, yeah, we'll give you all this money. You're still a big market. Like Boulder is still a big market in terms of random college football cities throughout the U.S. So why not? It makes sense for both of them. Like the Pac-12 has been dragging their feet for like 2 or 3 years. Like why would anybody have any confidence in like being loyal to the Pac-12 right now? Go.
Is the Pac-12 the worst run? I don't even know what you want to call it. Just body of sport.
It have to be.
Is this the biggest fumble of a big time sport? I mean, the fact that this conference could potentially just disappear in 2 or 3 years.
The Conference of Champions, man. Like it's
It's
unbelievable. Like think of the history of just college basketball. Like just college basketball. Think of that. Like Arizona, UCLA. Like UCLA's not in the conference anymore. You let UCLA walk. And USC, with their history of football and, swimming and track and field, you let them walk. Maybe the worst. Yeah, I'm with you. Like maybe one of the worst collapses and worst run organizations ever in sports. It's incredible.
Well, it's crazy that, I feel like if they could have just got a deal done 3 years ago there, whenever, they were like starting to look into getting a new deal.
When Larry Scott handed it over, if they could have done it then, yeah. You
might have been able to keep them. The money wouldn't have been great by any means still, but at least it would have been a deal. The fact that they fumbled this is just, these people should be Scott and finally pissed off enough
George K.
Yeah. They should be booed anytime a Pac-12 fan walks by them. You just boo them to their face.
Yep. And it's weird how these people fail so badly and then get hired in new positions too. Because Larry Scott, I don't know what Larry Scott's doing, but I would assume he got hired by some other company, or he just retired and had a golden parachute or something like that. And then George K. The conference is gonna dissolve. It's gonna go away, and he's just gonna get hired by a Fortune 500 company. It's bonkers.
See.
Yeah, WCP says that Pac-12 has more NCAA championships across all sports than all other conferences combined. Yeah, track and field, swimming, all of those other sports that they get all of these championships in. It's amazing.
The biggest thing that hurts though is all the other sports.
That's it.
The fact
That's what I was saying.
The fact that football dictates, let's say, the conference explodes. Oregon State, Cal, they're not going to go. They might not go to big conferences. They might go to the WAC. And then what's going to happen to the athletes there? Those sports are getting funded by football essentially. And all of a sudden they're not going to make nearly as much money, and they're going to be playing lower tier level shit. It's just a ripple effect throughout all sports in this conference.
I'm really curious what's going to happen with those other sports too. Cause some of them,
I think you can keep it together for the conference.
Well, gymnastics,
maybe a hybrid thing.
Gymnastics doesn't. Gymnastics has their own thing.
Because there's not enough teams.
Not every school has gymnastics. Yeah, so they could end up doing something like that, where they just sort of regionalize and create something different just for those sports. But I don't know.
Because there's no way they're gonna have money. Well, especially some of the sports that the Southern California teams have. There's no beach volleyball being played in the Big Ten and shit like that. So they're gonna have to figure out some. Hopefully, they have a hybrid, kind of old Pac 10, 12 style conferences for these other sports.
How is that gonna work, man? Yeah, people a lot smarter than us are gonna have to figure that out.
Well, I don't think there are that many smart people running these things. Clearly,
it's a good point. Good point. All right. Anything else before our list? Have you ever been to a volcano? But we'll just put that in the chat.
I have been to a volcano.
That's a Bill Walton quote. You ever been to a volcano? I used to play it all the time on Tannen's show. It's like a sound clip. Have you been to a volcano?
Yeah.
Like Hawaii?
Hawaii. Yeah.
I've been to Hawaii too. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I've been to Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens and Mount Hood's technically a volcano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Super volcano.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Okay, fair enough. We live in the land of the volcanoes. The Conference of Champions.
Conference of Volcanoes.
Conference of
That's
Volcanoes.
What we are.
Yep. I once walked into the mouth of a volcano and fell in. I floated out. Do you believe that, Dan? Your name is Dan, right?
That might be the only saving grace is maybe I won't have to listen to Bill Walton for again.
Yeah, what is Bill Walton gonna do? That's my question.
I don't.
ESPN will still have him. The teams are gonna still be on the West Coast. So
yeah, they'll still play.
Yeah, he's just gonna
know.
start calling some Big Ten games. That's gonna be weird. He's gonna like sneak in Conference of Champions. Remember when it used to be the Conference of Champions? Your name is George.
Oh, it's
right?
gonna be a train wreck.
Cannot wait. Yeah. All right, let's do our list. Let's go.
All right.
Our list this week came from Discord, and it was from MT Booble 1, and it is Shark Week. Is it actually Shark Week?
Apparently, Shark Week.
He says it's Shark Week. I saw a thing on my Hulu earlier that showed Johnny Knoxville running away from the water, and I think it said Shark Week on it. And as we know, Johnny Knoxville and the Jackass guys do Shark Week stuff. So
yeah, it must be something because I saw something that Poopy's got like his hand damn near bitten off by a shark because of Shark Week.
That was like last year though, right?
Was that last Shark Week? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know. I just saw it.
No, Poopy's almost died, man. His hand was like his whole hand was like falling off of his body, and they had to like fix it right away, or he would have died. Yeah.
Fucking Poopies.
Fucking Poopies. I love it. If nobody like watches Jackass, I have no idea what we're talking about. There's a guy named Poopies. What do you want from us?
Yep. And his name gives you an idea of the kind of person he is.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to start? You want to start? Me?
I'll start. I'll go. So my first one, it's Shark Week. I'm going to stick with Shark. My number 3 is the shark from Jaws.
There you go.
Because it ate Robert Shaw, and that's a tough eat.
Yeah.
Robert Shaw's rough.
That's a tough eat.
Tough one.
Didn't that movie didn't they the technology was so bad and the shark looked so dumb that they barely even showed it in the I've never watched Jaws, but no, I've only heard people talk about it. Like they barely show the shark because it looks so shitty or something, right?
They don't show it a lot, but it was like next gen animatronic stuff that they had to utilize for the shark. Because I mean, obviously looking back now, it looks awful, but for the times, yeah, it's pretty good.
Because then they moved the whole thing to Universal Studios or whatever, right? Where you could go on a tour and yeah.
They got the shark there, yeah.
Okay. All right, my number 3 is Bruce from Finding Nemo. Bruce, he was you know.
Is he the
He was in the support group for not eating other fish, and so he was trying to do good and trying to not attack like the smaller fish, and trying to protect them and be friends with them instead of eating them. He was trying
like a vegan?
He was trying to buck stereotypes, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't like him. But all right.
Real quick. Booble in the chat, number 3, Jeff Conine. Is he like
Marlin Great?
Oh, does that count? Oh, we can throw Marlins in. I didn't even think of that. Oh,
and Rays.
That's
you
good.
Throw some older.
That's good. WCP's number 3 is the bull shark. It's a good shark.
It's the real shark that they based Jaws around.
Yeah.
I think it was actually a bull shark.
Yeah. Yep.
But
he's a big boy.
Big boy. My number 2 is I'm gonna say he's part fish. That's Abraham Sapien from Hellboy.
Sapien. Good call. Yeah.
I think he's fish. I think he's a fish man.
Yeah. No, we'll go fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got
gills.
He got the suction cups.
He's got gills though.
He does have gills.
Yeah.
I think if you have gills, you're a fish. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that. All right, my number 2 is Greg Norman. Shark baby. Wait, was Greg Norman with the Live Tour? Did I forget?
Oh yeah,
that?
he was.
All right.
Oh, he was the.
Yeah, he was the
major
guy.
Leading catalyst for the Live Tour.
I just remembered that.
He just got fired though when they had this little fucking merger shit go down.
That's a damn shame. All the work he did to build that brand too, man.
Sand Shark.
Yeah, Dude, Sand Shark. Oh, that's great. By the way, the Saudis out here buying up all the athletes. I don't know if you've been paying attention. They threw like $750 million at Kylian Mbappe, and Mbappe was like, "Nah, I'm good."
And Mbappe,
dude, it was 775 or something, wasn't it? Like $775 million. Jesus.
That was just for like a year loan.
For a year. Yeah. Dude.
I don't know how you turn that down. Just go dick around for a year and come back and play real soccer again.
I think he's doing it right though, because I think you do that when you're towards the end of your career.
Well,
so you play in the big leagues.
Ronaldo is.
Yeah. Exactly. Because they've taken a couple of guys they took like Henderson from Liverpool and Gundogan from Man City. Like they're good players, but they're sort of towards the end of their careers, and so they're going there to finish out their careers and get absolutely paid. Like Mbappe's still in like his mid-20s, and so he's still got another like 7 or 8 years before he should do.
It's still tough just to turn for a year.
He's still rich. He's still really rich. I mean,
he's not that rich.
No, that's true.
He's not going to be a billionaire rich because of this.
That's true. No, but you do that. You wait 7 or 8 years, and then you just go make $1 billion in a year, and you're fine. Like then you don't have to do anything ever again. You're good.
You gotta assume this Saudi league is like still up and running in 7 to 8 years.
It's wild. It's wild how much money they're throwing at these guys. Like, do you see like all the NBA players too? They're like, shit, man. Start a basketball league. Pay me. I'll go there right now. Like I think LeBron, Giannis and Lillard did too. They're like, dude, pay me. Let's go. Didn't Giannis say like I kind of look like Kylian Mbappe?
Look like Mbappe.
Yeah. That's so much money.
I feel like there probably is a Saudi basketball league, isn't there?
There must be, but yeah. I don't know if they're ready to throw money at NBA players like that yet. Is that something like because right now it's soccer and soccer is worldwide, they have not come into America for that yet. If they start coming into America and offering United States,
they did with Live. I mean, golf is a worldwide thing, but
yeah, it is.
The PGA Tour is pretty much an American product. I mean, they have tournaments elsewhere, but not a lot.
If we're like 5 years down the road, they have a professional basketball league, and they literally start throwing like $750 million at NBA stars, and one of them leaves. What does the U.S. government do?
Nothing. Still, there has to be a limit on. I don't know how much money they have.
Yeah. You would think.
I mean, they must have to have like multiple trillions. Otherwise, eventually it's going to run out, right?
No. I think I don't think so. I think it's pretty much like the
$1 billion a player.
The people who are funding these like offers have pretty much endless money. I think that's the point.
Well, then it should be smart. You go, well, I guess they probably get around it for tax purposes, but like, well, go get their oil Saudi money and bring it back to the States and
what taxes? What taxes?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like that's the thing too, is their government would have to tax them and impose sanctions on them and shit like that. They don't care. They want all of this publicity. They want all of these like world famous athletes over there. So, yeah, WCP says the feds are looking into the PGA merger, but that only applies when they're playing in the United States, and so that's why the feds can look into that merger and they can affect things. But if you're talking about everybody playing in Saudi Arabia,
right? There's
no rules.
Can't do anything about that.
Can do whatever they want, man. Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's take our podcast to Saudi Arabia, right?
Hey, I'm in.
Offer money, right?
Highest bidder. Yeah.
We'll go cover some Saudi leagues.
I'll do it.
Get that blood money for a year.
I will do it for way less than $1 billion. Come on, yeah. I'll be exclusive. Welcome to the Saudi podcast. I'm in.
Right.
I'm in. Dude, think about that. We'd get Ronaldo on our podcast. Yes, please. All right, where are we? I forget what. Did you?
I did my
two?
number 2.
I did my number 2. We didn't get the 2s from the chat. All right, let me get those. Let's see. Booble says number 2 is Real Big Fish. Classic.
It's terrible music, but yeah.
Really terrible. Yep. And WCP says Wells Catfish. I don't know what that is.
That's just big. That's a catfish.
Just a catfish? Like a kind of catfish?
That's a catfish.
Okay.
All right. So I'll go. My number 1 fish is Klaus from American Dad.
That's also my number 1. Yep.
Is it? That's the best one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yep. Klaus Heisler.
Mm-hmm.
So what was he? He was
German ski jumper.
Ski jumper, and he was gonna win the gold, and so the CIA turned him into a goldfish. Was that the storyline? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think might have killed him and then put his
and then put his mind into a goldfish. That was it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Booble, good call. Number 1, goldfish crackers. That's a good call. You know what I get? You know what I get my kid is they have Flavor Blast goldfish crackers, and they're like an extra dash of cheese, and they're real tasty, man. Like I don't eat them very often, but like every once in a while I'll give them some, and I'll have.
That's bullshit. Why don't you just make that original? Why don't you make that flavor just blasted anyway?
I have the dad tax when I hand it off. It's like I'll get like 2 or 3.
I'm gonna counter Boobles. I'm gonna say Swedish fish. We're going food item.
Big ups. The Swedish fish are a problem. Like I can't be around them because I'll eat them all the time, all day long. Yeah. WCP said that like right as you were saying that. Honorable mention Swedish fish. Yeah.
Yep.
They're so good. They're so good. By the way, his number 1 is The Meg. I haven't seen that. Is that good? Is that the Superior?
It's dumb.
Is it the Superior shark movie now?
I mean, Sharknado 1 through 5 is still out there.
No mention of Sharknado before that.
And what was that? Oh, what was the other one? Fucking, why am I blanking? The one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, where like the shark jumps through the glass and eats him.
Yeah.
That's quality stuff.
I was thinking Deep Blue, but that's the Paul Walker, like Jessica Alba one.
Yeah. Wait, is that the same one? Am I mixing?
Is that
up?
all the same one? It might just be called.
I think it might be Deep Blue. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Honorable mention from Booble is the movie Swordfish. Obvious reasons.
Yes, very big reasons.
Obvious reasons. Yep. Yeah. Okay. There's going to be a sequel to The Meg, apparently. So
I think King's a big fan of The Meg.
Oh, I was right. Deep Blue Sea is the Sam Jackson movie. Okay.
Is it? All right.
Thank you for the correction. I got it right. I'm always into hearing that. Dude, we've got longer than normal today.
I know. Crazy.
Yeah. Is that it? Like, do we need to like not have King on the podcast? And I think we need to have him on just to keep us in check or something. Cause
he's watching that clock.
Yeah. I'm watching that clock when he's here. I don't know. Maybe I just get tired of talking to him or something. All that Saudi talk. Yeah, that did it. Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Movie on Sunday is The Greatest Showman. Hugh Jackson, Zac Efron, Zendaya in a musical. It's on Disney Plus. Watch it. Hear us talk about it. Yeah, that's it. Follow us on Twitter and stuff, and find videos on YouTube. I've been uploading those every week, so search for the Sports Brewery on YouTube, and you can find the live streams there. And also join our Discord, and that's where you can give us movie suggestions and whatnot in there. So
join the threads.
Yeah, Sports Brewery on Discord. Join the threads, the Instagram. That's a thing now too. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do for that. Like post pictures of what? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But follow it or whatever. All right, thanks guys. Bye.